Never once did I ever say that Draymond Green shouldn't have a podcast and be playing.
Let me interject for one quick second. Kendrick Perkins is absolutely right. He never once said that he shouldn't have the podcast, but he brought up the podcast, and I get your point. Go ahead and respond to what Perkins had to say.
Perk, it takes one to know one, because you just twisted the narrative. I never said that Draymond Green was bringing the kind of energy he needed to bring. I never came out and said, I didn't back up his play last night at all.
Did.
Well, you just kind of did.
I didn't say you
kind
did.
of put words in my mouth. You spoke for me. What I'm saying, though.
I said what I said.
So go ahead.
Perk, all I'm saying,
I said what I said.
Let him speak, Perk. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
Being prepped and executing are two different things. You're going to tell me Draymond Green wasn't prepped for the game?
Come on. Can I chime in now? Let me chime in on that.
No, executing and playing hard, Stephen A.
Time out. Let me chime in. Now that's nitpicking. I'm getting ready to answer it. Let me answer it. That's nitpicking, Jay. At the end of the day, if you're speaking about a game, you're talking about the performance. And based on the performance, you're surmising what a person was prepared to perform. Kendrick Perkins brings up the fact that Draymond Green has 15 points and 15 fouls in the first 3 games of the NBA Finals. We all know that this man's a future Hall of Fame. He's a 3-time champion.
Yes.
We've seen Draymond Green play significantly better. He himself said that he played sorry. He himself said he wasn't ready to play the way he was supposed to play in Game 1, which is why he came out and performed in Game 2. So let's not be so literal, y'all, when we're taking every little word and go, all right, well, does that mean he wasn't prepared? No, your performance indicated that you wasn't ready, because we know Draymond Green can play and should play much better than that. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
That's all we're saying here.
Yeah, we can.
So we don't need to be so
let
literal.
Go ahead.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Let him go ahead, Stephen A. So
ahead,
when
Jay.
he finished, I could split his wig at the end. Go ahead.
First of all, you don't want to split nobody's wig on this show and in life.
Yeah, I am. Go ahead. Finish up.
I
Go
am
ahead.
not
Finish
sitting up
up.
here on national TV condoning the way Draymond Green has played. I am not. He said he played like bleep. He played like bleep last night. I saw it. There are a lot of other reasons as well, on top of Draymond Green's play, in which this team needs to be better. We should also ask questions about Jordan Poole, him averaging 19 points during the regular season, him averaging 10 points in the NBA Finals.
I'm going to get to him. I'm going to get to him.
And we can also talk about the way they targeted and they drove to the rim from the lack of size protection. So if we want to go into Steve Kerr and a little bit of the rotations, yes. I'm not making
pick and roll for Steph Curry all day long. You got to do something more than that.
All I'm saying is it just felt like, Perk, you took the low-hanging fruit on being prepped. And when the guy addressed it from the beginning. He addressed it from the podium that he played like crap.
Let me explain.
Seemed like a casual
explain to you.
That's all I was saying.
No, I'm gonna give you a championship. I'm gonna give you some championship knowledge, and a guy that had played in 140 playoff games and 50-some game sevens. Let me explain something to you, Jay Will.
Just at a different level, but I won one.
But you didn't win one when you had to win 4 games in 4 games in a 7-game series. See, when you playing in a series, my brother, you have to be locked in. You have to be tunnel vision. Because listen, this is not the bubble. No disrespect to the Los Angeles Lakers, but you're traveling. Okay, so going into a hostile environment, having young players that are around you that are inexperienced, like Andrew Wiggins, like Jordan Poole, and you're Draymond Green and you're the heart and soul of that team, you have to have a different type of focus, because it's not just about you. It's about the others that look up to you. And I have said this time and time again, Steph Curry is the best player on the team. Make no mistake about it. Steph Curry is the best player on the team. But when it comes to being the heart and soul of the team, that's Draymond Green.
Who needs to step up for the Dubs besides Draymond Green? Because we've talked about him a lot.
Jordan Poole. As disappointed as I am with the lack of impact Andrew Wiggins seems to have, the bottom line is he is out there defending. And we got to give him credit for that. And it ain't like he's scoring 2 points. Jordan Poole has had a few moments, but the bottom line is he ain't that dude that I saw during the Denver Nuggets series. Matter of fact, he ain't show up that much against Memphis, Dallas. I expected more from Jordan Poole.
Is he a killer, though? That's my question.
That's what I'm trying to find out. I thought so, which is why I have to retract what what I said about Lethal Weapon 3. No, he ain't there yet.
Yeah, he's not a serial killer.
And see, here's the thing that kills me about it, and I think it's important to point out. This is the NBA Finals. You know what you're going up against. You know how elite Boston's defense is, particularly in the half court. You got to push that ball up the court. You got to get open shots for yourself. You got to pull that trigger. He want to dribble too much. You can't do that against Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown and those boys. They ain't going to work. You can't do that against Derek White. You can't do that against Pritchard and them. Mm-hmm. The way Udoka has their defense constructed, the more you don't pass the ball, the more your spacing is off, the more you're dribbling, the more you're trying to create opportunities for yourself instead of utilizing the others around you to create opportunities, you're going to mess up. And to me, Jordan Poole has looked very, very, very ordinary. Again, that puts even more pressure on Steph Curry. Now, Klay Thompson took some of it off last night. Regardless of the fact that it wasn't some 41-point explosion with 11 threes, he still had 25 on 6 threes. We got it. He showed up, okay?
That game.
First game he did that. First game.
Second game, too.
Well, no. First game, you got to remember, he shot 4-19 in game 2.
Yeah.
Okay? He got 4-19 in game 2. He was shooting 30% from the field and 26% from three-point range coming into last night's game. So we got to look at it from that perspective and just say, wait a minute, man. Jordan Poole is supposed to be better than this. Clearly, they're bigger and stronger, whatever. But you're a young blood, 22 years of age. You can shoot the rock. You can score. You know, you got to put it in. And I think he's got to step up in order to help them out.
I think I'm with you on that. I believe he has to step up. I believe their bench has to step up. I believe Draymond Green plays, 34 minutes, only 4 shots attempt, no free throws, no steals. Obviously Klay played well, but Klay didn't play well last game. He didn't play well game 1. Steph has been carrying the load for this Golden State team. I think we need a little bit of everyone to step up.
It's actually funny to me because, a lot of people like to use stats. Well, in playoff basketball, things slow down a lot more. It's actually not necessarily true. Like the pace is about the same as the regular season. So on top, like Jordan Poole, I get it. He needs to step up, averaging 10 points in the finals. I understand that. Young player, first time to the NBA Finals.
That's what
also going against dudes who play one-on-one every single day against each other. You're not going against the second-string guys. You're going against guys like Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, those rotations. You ain't going to dance like that. Draymond Green pushing the tempo of the game is something that needs to happen, Stephen.
But they can't do that if you're taking the ball out. That's the thing. Well, you can't push the ball in transition.
You still can push the ball in second-hand transition, though.
Yeah.
And create the tempo of the game.
But like he said, they would get to the hole at will.
Well, you can't,
so if you get to the hole at will, how you going to push the pace up? Not only are they scoring, they're coming at you and they got you on your heels. You see what I'm saying? So if they got you on your heels and they scored, then all of a sudden you got to start all over again. It's like climbing uphill all the damn time.
But this is back to your point. You're talking about extending the bench. Guys like Moody, Kuminga, you want to use them, increase the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
Increase the tempo of the game.
But you'll need them to do it.
I hear you. So I'm agreeing to your point finally, but all I'm saying is if you increase the tempo of the game, increase the number of possessions, try to get more out of second-hand transition, that's where Jordan Poole will see the ball go in. Yeah. Then you're not taking half-court heaves from 2 feet outside the three-point line. That eases the game. At least got to find some chippies. They're not getting chippies now. That's the problem. It's half-court, settled-in defense. That's what makes it hard for them to score at times.
And they playing in Boston, too. Let's not forget about that. You think about a second-year guy coming to Boston trying to get it going is tough, man. And those Boston fans, they not letting go of anything. Those kids, they cursing you out. The old people cursing you out. The young people cursing you out. You hear it from everywhere. So, I didn't expect Jordan Poole to come here and be a Finals MVP or anything.
But you
I didn't expect that.
But you expected more offensively.
I did not.
Pat, did not expect more offensively from him?
What? I mean, he really ain't really played against, I ain't gonna say played against anybody, but it's a different set of animals who he playing with now. Like, he going against some real animals right now,
I don't always expect people who they were one way in the regular season to be who they are going to be in the postseason. I don't always expect that, especially for young players.
How much of the blame do you think belongs to Draymond in the loss?
I wouldn't say it's blame on Draymond. He's had games where he haven't, put up the numbers that we've seen him put up in the past, and they've still won. I think the blame for the Warriors' loss is Coach U from Boston and Jaylen Brown. I think Coach U has made a hell of adjustments this series. Got out of pick and roll, started attacking them straight line drives, putting a lot of pressure on that low man. Robert Williams is in the dunker. They're getting corner threes. Jaylen Brown is attacking everybody. He has
Steph Curry on pick and roll, he waves them off, goes right at Draymond Green. So I think those two.
Okay.
Let me say this, and I'll defer to these two, of course, but I'm going to say this. First of all, Udoka's out coaching Steve Kerr. He's out coaching him.
So you agree with me, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
You ain't got to interrupt. You understand?
We're not going to do this.
Get one notch in the belt.
They looking for us to do this. We're not going to do this.
Okay. I'm my business. I just answered the question. But here's this, seriously, y'all. I think he's out coaching Steve Kerr thus far. But what bothers me about Steve Kerr is that we're certainly not going to question whether or not he knows what he's doing. He's a champion. 8 times over. I mean, my God, player, coach, the whole bit. But when you think about Kuminga, you think about Moody, these are young dudes, 19 years old. But why would I bring that up? The only reason I'm bringing that up is because forget the skill set for a second. When you look at Boston, they're bigger, they're more physical, they're taller, they're coming at you. You got to answer that if for no other reason to do what you can to keep Steph Curry, the Klay Thompsons of the world, fresh for the fourth quarter. You got to give them something. You got to spell for them in some way. And if you had championship expectations, which you should have had early in the season once you saw how these guys are rolling, you throw them in line. I mean, Kuminga's played in 70 games. He started 12. Moody's played in like 50 games. He started about 11 games. You got to put these guys out there. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Draymond Green played horrible in 2 of the 3 games, which he openly admits. I'm not calling him out to insult him. I love my brother Draymond. I'm calling him out to motivate him. It's like, yo, these boys ain't no joke. You got to step up. No. You can't, Jay, you can't walk into the ring with Canelo Alvarez and don't be prepared for the left hook. You got to be prepared for the left hook. No. You understand what I'm saying? You got to know. You got to know this. You can't go in the ring against Deontay Wilder and think you just going to put your jaw right there for his right hand. You can't do that. You Draymond Green, you're going against Jaylen Brown, you're going against Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and these was Robert Williams. You got to know what you're up against. And so for me, somebody needs to tell Draymond, based on 2 of these 3 games and what happened in 2016, you on the verge of being blamed for 2 finals losses because you got suspended for that game 5 that they would have won and beat Cleveland instead of that stimulus package that the NBA gave up giving LeBron by suspending Draymond Green. They had a 3-1 lead going back to the Oracle, and we know the rest. 2 of these 3 games, you don't show up. That's a problem. And if you're Steve Kerr, you have nothing to lose. He's undersized. You ain't going to get anything from Looney but so much because he's not athletic enough to deal with these boys, okay? You have nobody else to go to. Go with the young thoroughbreds who are athletic and defend like a Kuminga. I'm big on Kuminga. You got to get that kid in there. I don't care what. Jay, I don't care what struggles he has in understanding the offense. The one thing, we know he's a Skywalker. We know he's big NBA body. We know he can defend, and he's long enough to defend. You got to get him in there.
Can I ask you a question off that? Because
Yes.
I would agree with you that he needs to utilize him a little bit differently. But could it be that Steve Kerr, who spent hours upon thousands of hours with them on a day-to-day basis, that the NBA is such a matchup type of game, that the physicality of the NBA Finals...
Let me answer that question
okay.
to you. I don't want to hear that from you. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to hear that from you. Let me explain why. Because you know basketball. And there's been plenty of times that coaches have spent thousands upon thousands of hours with players, and you still called them out. Because you're going by what you see. And you're saying, I don't give a damn that they know what I don't because they're reacting with these guys every day. You know basketball. So looking at the Boston Celtics and what they're doing to Golden State, the bottom line is, you got to, desperate times call for desperate messages.
I agree.
You got to throw some young bloods up in there.
My only point was, because I do notice a little bit, is that your ability to comprehend sets and some of the nuances off sets, I think sometimes as a rookie, it takes a while to get to that point where you're able to adjust that quickly in an NBA Finals situation.
And I'm saying I don't expect them to. I'm just saying throw them in there for defense.
But I think that's my point, because you can throw in somebody for defense, but then you can also be a liability on the offensive end. See, like, it's all about matchups and attacking those matchups. So I hear what you're saying. I think it can be utilized, but like I'm not going to criticize Steve Kerr on that because I think he knows.